Just as the public anticipated long overdue transparency, the Department of Justice stunned the nation by revealing the discovery of over 1 million additional documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein, after a critical legal deadline had already passed. This massive trove has reignited public outrage and deepened suspicions about whether federal agencies are truly committed to exposing the full extent of Epstein's network. For victims and the public, this feels less like an oversight and more like a calculated betrayal, raising urgent questions about what else remains hidden. The DOJ's failure isn't just bureaucratic, it's a blow to the credibility of the American justice system, leaving everyone to wonder, why did it take a missed deadline and a new law for these files to come to light? The Epstein Files Transparency Act was supposed to force the DOJ to finally reveal the truth, promising a new era of openness and accountability. For years, the public and lawmakers alike had demanded answers about the handling of the Epstein case, and this legislation was seen as a critical step forward. The law set a firm deadline of December 19, 2025, a date circled on calendars across the country, symbolizing hope for long-awaited transparency and justice. But when the day arrived, there was only silence. No press conference, no document release, just mounting frustration. Days later, the DOJ quietly admitted to discovering 1 million more documents, a revelation that blindsided everyone and turned hope for closure into renewed outrage and suspicion. Senior DOJ officials had repeatedly assured Congress and the public that the files were ready for release, insisting that the process was under control. Now those claims appear misleading at best, if not outright deceptive, raising serious questions about the department's honesty and competence. The DOJ's credibility, already damaged by years of controversy, is now in crisis. Lawmakers, journalists, and the public are demanding answers, and protests have erupted outside government buildings, with many calling for independent oversight. The DOJ's excuse, an overwhelming workload, rings hollow to many. How could so many documents have been overlooked? The scale of the oversight has fueled suspicions of incompetence, bureaucratic dysfunction, or even intentional obstruction of justice. Congress is no longer accepting excuses. Lawmakers are demanding immediate answers and accountability, and the DOJ's failure has triggered a full-blown confrontation over transparency, trust, and the very integrity of the justice system. The 1 million new documents were found in the Southern District of New York, the very office that prosecuted Epstein in 2019. This shocking oversight raises serious questions about internal protocols and whether the initial search was intentionally limited. The SDNY, once praised for reopening the case, now faces scrutiny for failing to produce these files from the start. For victims, it's another painful reminder of institutional failure and the justice system's inability to deliver full transparency. The discovery transforms the SDNY from a potential hero into another source of suspicion. What else might still be buried? The next battle in the fight for transparency is over redactions, those thick black lines that can turn a document into a puzzle with most of the pieces missing. The Epstein Files Transparency Act is clear. Only 3 types of information can be legally hidden: identities of victims, to protect their privacy, explicit images or descriptions of abuse, and details that could compromise ongoing investigations. But if you look at past document releases, you'll see page after page blacked out far beyond these limits, with names of prosecutors, government officials, and even entire sections about institutional failures hidden from public view. These redactions often go well beyond what the law allows, raising serious questions about what's really being protected, and why. This ongoing pattern of excessive secrecy has fueled a growing sense of public distrust and frustration, with many people now convinced that the DOJ is using redactions not just to protect victims, but to shield itself, its officials, and other powerful interests from accountability. As the release of 1 million new documents approaches, journalists, advocates, and the public will be watching closely for signs of over-redaction and unnecessary secrecy. By law, the DOJ must now provide a specific justification for every single blackout. No more blanket redactions without explanation. Congress has made it clear. They're prepared to challenge any abuse of redaction power and demand real transparency from the DOJ. This fight isn't just about access to files, it's about the public's right to know the truth, unfiltered and unhidden, about one of the most notorious cases in recent history. If the DOJ continues to over-redact, it will only deepen suspicions and confirm fears that the full story is still being kept from the public eye. The Department of Justice's missed deadline has sparked a rare moment of unity in Congress, with both Democrats and Republicans expressing outrage over what they see as a blatant disregard for transparency and accountability. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle are now demanding immediate answers from Attorney General Pam Bondi and her department, insisting that the American people deserve to know the truth behind the withheld documents. Leading the charge are Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, the bipartisan sponsors of the Transparency Act, who have become the public face of congressional frustration and determination. They have publicly condemned the DOJ's actions, calling them a betrayal of public trust and a dangerous precedent for government secrecy. In response, at least a dozen senators have formally called for an Inspector General investigation, seeking to uncover not only the fate of the missing documents, but also whether the DOJ intentionally misled Congress. The stakes have never been higher, as Congress is now seriously considering holding the Attorney General in contempt, a move that would mark a dramatic escalation in this standoff. By early January 2026, the DOJ faces a strict deadline to submit a comprehensive withholding log to Congress, detailing every document that has been redacted or withheld. This log must include not only the titles and descriptions of each document, but also the specific legal justifications for every redaction or omission, leaving no room for ambiguity. With this information in hand, Congress will finally have the ammunition it needs to challenge the DOJ's decisions in court, potentially overturning years of secrecy. If successful, this could strip the department of its long-held discretion over sensitive information, setting a powerful new precedent for government transparency. The battle lines are now clearly drawn, and as the fight for transparency moves from the halls of Congress to the courtroom, the outcome could reshape the balance of power between the legislative and executive branches for years to come. Amid the chaos, Ghislaine Maxwell's silence looms large. Convicted as Epstein's chief accomplice, she holds secrets that could expose the full network, but has refused to name other co-conspirators. Her silence is unusual and has fueled speculation. Is she protecting others, or has she already made a secret deal? Without her testimony, prosecutors may lack the evidence to charge other high-profile figures, and her refusal to talk shields those still in the shadows. The new documents may offer leverage or corroborate victim claims, but until Maxwell speaks or the files are fully released, a crucial piece of the puzzle remains missing. Her silence continues to cast a dark shadow over the pursuit of justice. The Epstein case is now a test of the American justice system's integrity. Every delay and questionable redaction deepens public suspicion that the powerful are being protected. The DOJ's upcoming withholding log will be the next battleground, with legal experts and Congress preparing to challenge any unjustified secrecy in court. Judicial intervention may be the only way to force true transparency and restore public trust. The new documents could finally provide the missing links to hold more people accountable, but only if released in full. The press and public will play a critical role in scrutinizing every detail. For victims and a nation desperate for justice, transparency isn't optional. It's the only way forward.